It's a strenuous time to be a wrestler. The impatience of the Ute today, yes, you, the Ute, with your goddamn mannequin challenges, you're creating a climate that demands bigger and better from your superstars. And how best to ramp up a match and make it feel big like your mum likes it? Than by kicking out of a good finisher. It's massively overused today. The Styles Clash has already been kicked out of multiple times. The AA is almost a transitional move by this point. The F5, the Tombstone, the Stunner, all have felt the sting, especially when WrestleMania comes to town. But there are a handful that have been treated with dutiful reverence, including some that will surprise you and some that will really annoy you. Honorable mention, the end of days. The best thing about Baron Corbin, which is a textbook definition of damning with faint praise. I'm Adam from WhatCulture.com, and here are the 10 most protected finishing moves in WWE. Number 10, the WMD, otherwise known as the KO punch, otherwise known as the Big Show showing his affection for you by giving you one of those, you're all right, kid, taps on the chin. Frankly, the move's a total box, which makes it baffling it's been treated as the deadliest bastard in the world at times. Sure, some people have kicked out of it, Brock and Sheamus springs to mind, but it makes the list because even recently it's done objectionable levels of damage to top stars. It eliminated John goddamn Cena from Survivor Series 2014, and it almost single-handedly, do you get it? Do you get it? Single-handedly, do you get it? Ruined the Royal Rumble 2015. It rendered Ziggler, Wyatt, Ambrose, all useless, all dumped over the top rope because they'd been killed by a stupid punch. I hate it. I hate it so goddamn much. Number 9, the spear, or to narrow it down, Roman Reigns' spear. How many times has this happened? Big Dog Roman the Dog Big Dog gets hit with 2 of his opponent's finishers and neither puts him away, whereas one spear is all it takes for him to achieve ultimate victory. It's pretty damn protected is what I'm saying, especially since the Shield split up, but it's not completely impervious to kick out. Seth Rollins has done it. Brock Lesnar kicked out of 2 because he's a tropical storm in shorts. The Undertaker kicked out of 1 on goddamn Raw, but that was ages ago. Despite a few kickouts, it's still an utter beast of a move. Number 8, the Cobra. All right, sit down. I'm afraid I've got some bad news. Now, I've tried to find examples that prove this to not be the case, but I can't. Here goes. Only one man has ever kicked out of the Cobra. Yep, that's right. The Punch and Judy version of the finger poker Doom. The world is cruel, the world is wicked, it's I alone whom you can trust in this whole city. Now sure, the only reason this bollock of a finisher has been protected as much as it is because Santino's a comedy mid-card who only tended to hit other lesser mid-carders with it because, you know, it's humiliating. But still, how dare emuing someone in the chest be kicked out of less than a stone-cold stunner? Oh, and if you want to know who was the only person to kick out of the Cobra, it was Daniel Bryan. Okay, well, technically Sheamus did it as well on Raw, but the Cobra he was hit with didn't have the full sock on it, so it was only 50%. Oh, what the am I talking about? Number 7, the running knee. Speaking of Daniel Bryan, ain't no one kicking out of this dreadnought motherfucker. Bryan always had the label lock, aka the no lock, aka the yes lock, but when time came for his ascension to the main event, he was given a brand new Impact finisher. How do you know it was going to be protected as He used it to beat John Cena clean. That'll do it! Only 2 men have kicked out of it. One was Roman Reigns at Fastlane 2015. Of course it was going to be him. Don't you wink at me, Roman. Don't you dare. The only other occasion was WrestleMania 30. Bryan hit Orton with the knee, then Batista dumped Bryan out of the ring, then he pinned Orton, who then kicked out. I'm choosing not to count this on my list though because there was significant time delay and also Bryan didn't make the pin himself. It's my list, and if you've got a problem with that, I refer you to this picture of Toru Yano demonstrating how many I give. Number 6, the Red Arrow. Anyone who was watching NXT in 2014 will know that the main roster has absolutely bollocksed up the man formerly known as Adrian Neville. First of all, why would you give a man a ring name comprised of 2 first names typically associated with nerds? Offense definitely meant to all the Nevilles and Adrians out there. Come at me, dorks. Second of all, why the hell isn't he competing for the Cruiserweight Championship? He could hold that thing for a goddamn year! Well, at least his finish is protected. That's only right considering it's a thing of damn beauty. So far, no one, not one of the muscle men on the main roster has kicked out of it. No bastard. Luke Harper kicked out of it once in NXT, which is a weird fact, but there you go. Seriously though, Adrian Neville. Why not call him Walter Winston if you want to sound like a Faye Bino character? Number 5, 3D. Tag team finishes tend to put people away fairly reliably because, well, you're being bonked by 2 dudes. It's frankly insulting if you kick out. Looking at you here, Undertaker, kicking out of the X mark at WrestleMania 28, you long-haired son of a bitch. When it comes to double team finishes, though, few are as beautiful or well protected as 3D. It felled foes from Dudleyville to parts unknown and was so well handled that throughout their entire history in WWE, not one person kicked out out of the Dudley Death Drop. However, 2 people did outside of the WWE. Masato Tanaka kicked out of it in ECW, and Chris Sabin of the Motor City Machine Guns kicked out of it in TNA. That doesn't really feel right. I mean, anyone kicking out of it just doesn't feel right. I mean, what's better than the 3D? Well, number 4, the Doomsday device. Is the Road Warriors Legion of Doom's finisher the most beautiful double team move in wrestling history? Yes, it is. Oh, piss off with your heart attack. Piss off with your Dudleyville device. This is the absolute pinnacle of 2-dude violence. It's so simple, but the way the opponent topples and twists from Hawk's clothesline made it almost hard to watch sometimes, and no one ever kicked out of it. No one. Ever. If you can find it, go nuts, but I sure as hell couldn't. As far as my research took, no one in WWE, not even in Japan, goddamn nowhere did someone dare to kick out of the Doomsday device, because after all, you try telling Hawk and Animal that you're not going to lie down for it. Best of luck. Number 3, Razor's Edge. Say what you want about the bad guy, that he wholesale nicked his gimmick from Scarface, but you can't say he wasn't very, very savvy when it came to protecting himself. Razor Ramon's finisher, the Razor's Edge, had an aura about it. When he hit it, it was over. Simple as that. And the reason for that was simple. If Razor Ramon wasn't going to win his book match, then he straight up refused to perform the move. It was a point of principle, you couldn't make him do it. And then Sheamus started doing it as the High Cross and ruined it, because Sheamus ruins everything. Number 2, the Jackhammer. It's the move that just beat Brock Lesnar, and not just any Brock Lesnar, Super Saiyan Brock Lesnar. The Jackhammer is a move associated with pure dominance, of hopeful young things being ground into a fine pink powder. Hopeful young things like Brock Lesnar. Jesus Christ, what is 2016? Seriously though, when a spear combines with a jackhammer, like a steak being combined with béarnaise sauce, no, you're posh, shut the up, then together they're absolutely unstoppable. It's only been kicked out of once in the history of wrestling, and that was a mistake. On an episode of Nitro, Hollywood Hogan, of course it was goddamn Hogan, got hit with the jackhammer, and Kevin Nash was supposed to break it up, but didn't, and after an awkward pause, Hogan lamely lifted his shoulder. But now, after Survivor Series, it's back, and better than ever. I miss Eric Bischoff. And number 1, the punt. The RKO is good. This is better. As much as Orton very, very occasionally completely misses connecting with the punt, look at the daylight on show here, it's possibly the most protected finisher of all time. Not only does absolutely no one kick out of it, and they never ever have, not only does it guarantee the end of a match, but half the time it forces the wrestler taking it to disappear from TV for a while with a kayfabe injury. It put Batista on the shelf, Foley, John Cena's dad, titans of the industry, all of them, and it hurt Husky Harris so much that he went mental and became Bray Wyatt. No other move has been so well taken care of, except maybe my super kick. That's burning hammer levels of devastation. And that's our list. Did we miss any out? Tell us about it in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter here. I'm Adam from WhatCulture.com, and I'll see you soon.